very special webcast. My name is Cary Williams, Portfolio Manager with North Road Investment Council. It's my pleasure to be joined once again with my colleague, Misha Niemtsev, who is our digital risk advisor. I made special phrasing on your last name, Misha, just to make sure I tried to get it right. You can tell me if I got it right or not after I'm done our intro.
Very close, Cary.
Very close.
Very
okay.
Close.
Not quite. I'm getting there. It's clear I don't speak Ukrainian or Russian, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Today, I'm very excited because we're going to do a fast 15 today, Misha. You and I are going to try and rip through one topic that's in the news, in particular around digital risk, but it comes from and started with an investment topic that happened last week. So folks may be aware that last week NVIDIA, one of the top chip designers and makers for AI, had a massive drop in their stock price, down almost 16%, a little over that in one day before bouncing back. I'm showing the chart right now that we showed in our last webcast, our 2025 Looking Forward webcast. And this was a massive drop in just one day, very unexpected. And the reason was that there was an announcement from an AI firm out of China called DeepSeek, what is the AI tool, that changed assumptions within the AI community as to how much infrastructure was going to have to be built out potentially, what it cost to build AI tools, and many of those types of assumptions that may change the profitability in the future of some of these AI tools. So today, Misha, as fascinating as the investment side is, you and I are going to talk about privacy and the privacy policies of different AI tools and how this affects our life online. All right, I just took over all the talking for, let's call it 2 minutes. I'm going to bring you in now, Misha. Fill us in on artificial intelligence as it relates to people who are in 2025 and may not be very familiar with the news and what's happening.
Of course, Cary. So we can see that artificial intelligence or AI is being talked about everywhere in the news right now. And I think to properly understand the technology, we need to go over the definition of what AI is. So first statement would be artificial intelligence is not artificial, nor it is intelligent. And it's a very funny statement because it's kind of the name for the tool. And why it's not artificial, because it requires a lot of human input. It requires data to be trained on, and it can only provide answers on the data that we offer it. And it's not intelligent because it cannot yet think for itself. It cannot make deductions. It would literally make conclusions on the data that we provided. So I think that would be a good overview of what a tool is. And we're starting to see it being plugged in everywhere we go. Those little chatbots that we see on our little shopping websites and says, hey, how can I help you? All of this is using this technology of seeing what answers it provided to people that shopped before us and see if and they're trying to see if they can help you assist us for the future purchases.
Yeah, I think, Misha, in the last 2 years, artificial intelligence has really blown up, especially as an investment topic and a driver of different returns and prices for different investment, AI companies in the investment world. We've talked a lot about it. It was in one of our presentations and our webcasts in the last couple of weeks as a driving trend. What I find really interesting right now is that this is actually a trend 70 years in the making. AI research has been around a really long time, but suddenly with the announcement and release of ChatGPT a couple of years ago, this has really grabbed hold as to a tool that can be really useful, really valuable. We've talked a lot internally about how we can use some of these tools in both a safe and secure way, but in a way that improves our efficiency and our ability to provide service to clients. One of the things that I found shocking last week as all of this happened with NVIDIA and there was more and more news about DeepSeek was staff on our team, yourself and Rob, digging into the privacy policies and the differences between DeepSeek, the Chinese AI, and ChatGPT out of the US. Should we move on to that?
Yes, thank you, Cary. So we did quite a bit of reading on the subject, and what came out, which was surprising to me, is that ChatGPT and DeepSeek, they're very similar on the data that they keep about us. They keep personal information, they keep like our personal names, our family names, everything they need for the creation of the account. They also both keep our payment methods, a lot of information about our devices, which I find very interesting. So our IP addresses, quite a bit of networking information, meaning what kind of internet we use, what is the speed, and a lot of details on that. But I think the biggest difference between the two tools is where they store this data. So as we can see on the top of the screen, ChatGPT keeps the information in the servers in the United States, while DeepSeek keeps the information in the servers located in the People's Republic of China. And I think there's been a lot of conversation about DeepSeek being a open source tool, and definition of open source meaning the code for the tool is available for everybody to see. And I think a lot of experts in the field have been putting this forward as why this tool is safe and there's no concerns about it. But I think what we need to understand is where the data is stored matters a lot to us, because we don't know how it can be used in the future. And I think the main difference between the Chinese servers data storage and the United States data storage would be the laws that tech companies need to oblige to disclose this information if the government asks for it. So the main difference is in United States, government is allowed to ask for the information to be provided to them, but there's much more legal oversight, and there's more steps to go through to get this information. And in China, there's much less oversight, and they can get to the data much less restrictively. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point, Misha. And I think just in general, we need to be very careful with our understanding of how much data we're giving to different companies, different apps as we use them. So one of the comments you had made to me was, we're getting to the point now where apps in their privacy policies are explicit that they're monitoring things like keystrokes, and keystrokes can be, so how you type into the computer can be used to identify individuals, because just like our fingerprints and the way we talk have unique aspects to them, so does the way we move our fingers and the way we type. Is that accurate?
Exactly. So keystroke patterns and rhythms, for me, it's a very exciting subject, because that's one of the new ways to identify who the user is. So no longer the company is required to go and see what account typed this. We all have very unique way we interact with technology, of how fast we type, what kind of mistakes we constantly make, how we delete things, how we add things, and it creates a digital identity for us. And this is also the biggest difference that I found in the research about the two tools here, is that ChatGPT doesn't really monitor keystroke patterns, while DeepSeek does. And this identifies us actually fairly accurately. I thought we were all unique and we all very but because we're so unique, it's very easy to see who's using technology. If you're actually using the privacy tools like safe browsing and VPNs, and you protect yourself in many ways that we can recommend you to, they can still identify you with the speed of typing and how you type in general. Yeah.
Wow. So Misha, let's talk for really quickly for 60 seconds on the future, because with AI, literally the future is here. 2 weeks ago, pardon me, ChatGPT introduced for their Pro Premium series what's called Operator, and this blew my mind. So this is an agent, tech tool online that can operate on behalf of the user. So it can go, as an example, and book travel for you, with you just authorizing it and giving it some prompts. It's not great, but the reviews I've read have been that it's quite clunky to use, but you can see already where this is going and how quickly this is evolving and adapting. And you can imagine, premium, I think, is, let's say, $200 a month. If DeepSeek can do this work very cheaply, all of a sudden that price drives down over time, and users of these kind of technologies can be much more efficient, can do other things with their life than potentially making all those decisions in the example I gave, such as travel. How do you feel about this, Misha? Is this something that you can see lots of people using? Should we be concerned about how much information things like GPT Operator or autonomous agents have or need to have in order to operate for us?
It's a very good question. So I see this tool being used by most people in the future, like to do their shopping, to buy things, to do research. And for this tool to actually function properly, it requires quite a bit more information from us that identifies us, and we just need to be aware of what are the privacy policy, how is our data being used, how is our information being shared with third-party providers like marketing and other companies that are trying to sell us things. Those privacy policies, unfortunately, are quite long, and most people that I speak to on a daily basis, they get too bored and annoyed with reading through the privacy policies, and they just agree to the terms and conditions. They need to use the tool and they just click OK. I think it's important for us as population to read through what are we agreeing to share and how it is going to be used in the future, and also periodically monitoring if it changes, because sometimes those privacy policies can change without letting us know, and we just agreed to something we probably wouldn't want to agree in the first place.
Yeah, a great direction there, Misha. Let's talk about a few kind of standard practices or key takeaways people should think about. What would be your top couple or three recommendations for folks right now?
I think the first one would be one of the advices we provide in our digital risk program is be very cautious what passwords you use for those systems, because if somebody can log into your account and they can see all of your conversations, it paints a very clear picture of what is your day-to-day like, what a kind of information you're using. And on the second point is we have to be very careful what we provide those tools. So proprietary information and personal information, unfortunately, it is kept on their servers, and they say they delete it after a while and they anonymize it, but until we can verify it, until the time can pass and we can actually understand what they're doing with our data, we need to be very careful of when we're, let's say, a good example would be often people use it to compose emails, and it says, I received this email from so and so, and this is the answer that I would like to provide. Well, if you do not delete the personal information, like your client's information, your doctors, all of this very private information, if somebody can access to it, there's harm that can come from it, because there's a lot of opportunity to hack people with this golden knowledge, as well as proprietary information from the firms that we're working at. It seems like this tool is used very often by coders and people in the software engineering field, and there's been multiple instances where people would just input code into the tool trying to get help, and without knowing, they leaked the most private source code of their company, and this can cause quite a bit of damage in the future. So let's be aware of what do we type in. If we need help work-wise, let's just de-anonymize the information that we input, and just make sure that if somebody reads our prompt or these prompts are used to train the AI model, there's nothing there that can personally identify us or the companies that we work for.
Yeah, good recommendations there, Misha. So password management in particular is a big one that we're recommending to clients, using password managers, using strong, unique passwords. And let's be careful what kind of personal information we're putting into, in particular, AI systems. But I would say any website whatsoever, anything that's online doesn't disappear. It gets taken and used by someone somewhere, right? That's a pretty good
Cary.
default. Yeah. Okay, let's go on to shameless plug right now, Misha, for the work you've been doing. I'm going to share my screen once again. On our website, you've built this tool under Digital Risk Advisory. If you go up to the top of our website under What Do We Do, and you look at, you look at that section at what we do, you'll get a drop down for Digital Risk Advisory Services. And down at the very bottom is our Digital Risk Quiz. So folks who are anywhere in the world can go and take this quiz and see how they're doing. It's 10 questions. It's about a third of our full assessment that we do for clients. If you have friends, family members that you care about and that you think may find it interesting or find value in checking out how much risk they have in their digital lives, this is a really great resource. If you want to send that on really, really quickly and easily, you can go onto the screen right now, pause the video, and scan this QR code, and it'll take you straight to the quiz. Misha, anything you want to add as we wrap up?
I think I just want to say that this is a very exciting age we're living in, and we're going to see artificial intelligence being spoken more and more often around us. And we need to start understanding what this tool is and just have a conversation about it without being afraid, because it can, in the future, it can do some harm to people, but it can also help us as a community to do things more efficiently and better. And I think education is very important on this subject. So I just would like to have an open conversation with people about how to use these tools and what they are and what they keep about us, because often when I had the conversation with people, unfortunately, the subject is often ignored.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Misha. I appreciate all the work that you do for our clients and your knowledge. I'm a lightweight on lots of this, so having you keep me in check and understanding what's going on is really valuable. Thanks very much, and thanks everybody for watching.